Welcome to Win with Richardson Richardson. What's important now? Success in business most often comes down to hard work, not by silver bullets and quick fixes. It's knowing where to focus that hard work that's key to winning. Join sales prospecting expert and 3-time seven-figure business founder Carrie Richardson and managing partner of R&R Consulting and former owner of Doberman Technologies Ian Richardson for radical honesty regarding strategic planning, accountability, and execution that will get you the systematic results you're working toward. Let's get into today's episode. Thought leader and your host, Ian Richardson.
Hello and welcome to WIN. I'm your host, Ian Richardson from Richardson Richardson Consulting, and today I'm joined by my friend Steve Taylor. Steve, how you doing?
Fantastic. How are you doing, Ian?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Steve is the owner and founder of RocketMSP, and he's an IT professional who has launched and run 2 successful businesses since age 25. He ran a successful MSP for 7 years and then launched an MSP webinar platform to help educate IT service providers about the products that are available to them and how to use them better. He enjoys the challenge of working with smaller firms and startups and loves helping the underdog. When someone comes to Steve with a story about how he gave them the strength to start their own MSP, showed them a new way to provide a service or product, or help them save money somehow, he gets totally pumped. He built his businesses from nothing and knows how hard it can be to start and grow a business when you've got no money, no help, and the odds are not stacked in your favor. He's proud to be able to help his clients enjoy the same success that he's been able to achieve. So, Steve, while you're doing all of this, people want to know, when do you find time to sleep?
You know, I sleep a lot, actually. I've found that I go to bed around 9 or 10. I used to be a night owl, and I still would be, but having a wife, having a couple kids, a dog, a cat, it's all exhausting. So I just go to bed early these days, and then I probably sleep until 7:30. So I get like 10 hours of sleep or something stupid. I probably should sleep less.
No. Speaking as a lifelong insomniac, you just described my special version of heaven. Is going to bed early, waking up at 7. That sounds particularly glorious. Particularly glorious.
It can be. I think some of the older guys and gals listening to this will appreciate that. As I start to get older, I have to wake up a lot more and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And let me tell you, it's hard to get back to sleep. So, Well, it sounds like I'm sleeping 10 hours. I'm really not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty typical scenario where there'll be a midnight wake up at 2:30, 3:30 a.m. here, and one or both of us, Carrie and I, are like, yep, all right, time to start the workday then.
Mm-hmm.
So on WIN, we always follow a pretty set format here, and we talk about business challenges, business achievements, and the opportunities that business leaders plan on pursuing. And so you've got your organization, Rocket MSP, and when we were talking before we started the show, you'd mentioned that one of the areas that you really try to keep front and center and focused on is making sure that you're not falling victim to imposter syndrome. When you're working on your own, for yourself, by yourself, you mentioned, hey, it can be pretty easy to either fall into that vacuum of, I'm the best thing since sliced bread. I know what I'm doing. I'm good, and not be open to new ideas. Or on the flip side of that coin, to go, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. Am I doing this right? And cycle into that nasty maelstrom of self-doubt. How do you keep imposter syndrome at bay as you go about your daily business on trying to help raise the tide for IT service companies?
That's a really great question, and it is something that I honestly struggle with. I've been struggling with for, I don't know, how many decades has this pandemic been going on for now?
Enough.
Long enough, right? So I've found the best way to keep this at bay is you got to find a group of peers. They
Mhm.
don't all have to be IT business owners, but you should find a group of people that are doing something similar to you. Maybe find some other small business entrepreneurs, sit down with them, and just talk things out. If you're able to find a group of IT guys, great. If that's what your profession is, but um, it's just so important to have a group of people you can bounce ideas off of, and just kind of get a sanity check.
Mhm.
Is this crazy? Is this gonna work? And not only get that sanity check, but get some extra ideas. Maybe you're only like 2/3 of the way there, and somebody else is going to tell you something revolutionary that'll just drive this idea all the way home.
Yeah, so get out there and and meet with fellow CEOs and entrepreneurs and peers and things like that. That resonates really, really hard home with me. I'm a big fan of industry peer groups, those peer groups with other folks in the industry, because they know the specifics on, hey, how do I
Mhm.
run an IT business or an accounting company or a law practice? But just getting some local CEOs too, because it can be a bit lonely at the tip of the spear, at the head of the pyramid of an organization, because no one really gets it.
Yeah.
Not really. Yeah. Have you so getting into those peer groups is helpful, and the other thing that really popped out at me was mentioning like and it speaks towards that front half of the equation too, is just getting ideas from someone else. You never know when a lawyer or a doctor or someone, right, a landscape guy will have a great method for coaching in HR or doing customer retention or whatever that could be adapted for your particular direction.
And that's exactly it. Just because two businesses might be doing completely different services, you know, you both are supporting customers, right?
Mhm.
So, so many people always say, you know, I I'm not an IT company. I'm just a customer service company that specializes in IT. Well, can't you say the same thing about, yeah, law firms? Well, maybe not law firms. They don't take care of people as well as. Never mind. The landscaper and the the catering company and all these companies, like, you'll find that the companies that are the most successful have at least two components that I can think of off the top of my head. One, they're super friendly and helpful for all of their
Mhm.
customers. And two, they've got processes and systems in place. And as long as they follow those processes, everything usually goes really well.
Mhm. Building the infrastructure to support the outcome. That's such a key takeaway there, is if you spend those times building the systems and processes up, you'll get to where you want to go.
Mhm.
The thinking about that, moving past that challenge, one of the areas that and this is probably one of my favorite parts of WIN, is talking about recent achievements, and you've got a pretty big one that really every entrepreneur wants to get to at the end of a proverbial ride on the rainbow. And you sold your business, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Cat's out of the bag, huh?
Cat's out of the bag, huh? Yes, it is. For those of you who are not familiar, on November 14th, which today is the 17th, so we're talking about 3 days ago, Steve sold his business to Carrie and I.
Yeah.
He's joined our team. So this is nothing but a family thing for the Richardson and Richardson crew. Um, but talk to me about one of the big things is, and we mentioned this in the in the first segment, is unless you're an entrepreneur, you don't know about being an entrepreneur. But when you and I started talking those weeks and months ago, one of the things that I mentioned was, hey, like, what do you want? Like where do you want to be? What do you want? What drives you? What gives you some passion? Do you want to sell your business? Do you want to fix your business? Do you want to, do you want to be part of a team? Do you want to keep flying solo? Like what drives Steve Taylor? And there's like some processes and emotions and things that go along during that journey. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So, you know, selling a business is actually it's a lot. There's a lot of feelings that go into that because um if I sell my business, am I selling it for enough? Am I selling it for the right reasons? Am I a failure if I sell a business and like go work for the man somewhere? Like, so there's just so many thoughts that can take over. And I think the most important thing is that, again, find some people that you trust, not as large of a group maybe, but find some people that you can trust and bounce the idea off of, and make sure that this is the right thing for not just your business and your clients, but for you and your family, because it doesn't matter if your business is doing well if your family is suffering. And I
Hmm.
think that was probably um, the key for me was, if I keep going with Rocket MSP, I'm going to continue to work long hours and late nights. I'm going to continue to miss things. Last night, you know what I did, Ian? I went out and I went to my son's school. He had his first fourth grade musical, and I got to enjoy it.
That's
Enjoy
right.
it.
As much as you can with fourth graders singing off key.
Yeah, I mean it was fun though. We did that. We got some ice cream, and it was great to just be able to. I feel awful saying this, but it was great to just shut it off.
Hmm.
Like 5 o'clock came and I wrapped up what I was working on and I went and did family stuff. And the screaming at children commenced. But
The ability to kind of create that space, the buzz term that I've always heard is work life balance, which is
Mhm.
difficult as an entrepreneur, but one of the things that Carrie and I have kept in, this being not either of our first or our second rodeos. We've had, both of us have had multiple businesses in the past, is we don't want to fall into that trap of saying, okay, well, we're just gonna work 12, 14, 16-hour days and work above everything else, because it's not, I don't know of anyone. Everybody exits, right? And you exit an organization either vertically or horizontally, but we all exit horizontally at some point. And when you get to kind of that end of that path into that last stage, you don't really hear people saying, "Man, I wish I had worked harder."
You brought up a really great point. Everybody exits, and as entrepreneurs, it's really important for all of you listening to remind yourselves of a few things. Um, Exits, types of exits you can have. You can sell. You can go out of business because you ran out of clients and money. You can die. I
Mhm.
mean, there's all different types of exits, right? Um, if you are trying to retire early or retire wealthy, then you need to start setting up your business now. It's never too early to begin. And we've said it at every stage of this. We've always talked about processes and systems that you have to have in place. Document all the things, because if you can't just disappear and go on vacation for 3 or 4 weeks and come back to a business that's still churning and doing its thing, right? If you can't do that, then your business isn't worth anything. It's you that holds all the value.
That's right. You haven't built a business, you've built a cage or a job, as it were. And being able to being able to take that space. I love the focus on systemization and process. That's the most important job to make unnecessary is that of the founder. Because if you can't get all of that secret sauce documented into systems and processes and resources and tools, then the value stays with you. And if you're not staying with the organization, it devalues the organization. And a business is just like a car. It's just like a house. It's just an asset. And you use it and you can get enjoyment from it and whatever, but it shouldn't be you. It's just a thing. Just a thing you use to feed your family and feed other people's families.
And I know some people who are crazy and they say, I'm never going to retire. I want to do this forever. And I struggle with that because either they really love what they do, or they work so hard they forgot what it feels like to have enjoyment in other things.
That is a really easy trap to fall into, and one that resonates hard. That's describing me circa 2018, 2019. Ian was kind of in that nasty well where it was just work, and enjoyment wasn't really something I even understood what life was supposed to be like. And supposed to is a hard word to use there, but it's not supposed to be that much of a grind and that much of a chore. There's supposed to be joy on a daily basis. So thinking about that and thinking about joy and daily basis and kind of forward thinking, we had been talking about opportunities, and one of the things you had mentioned, without tooting my own horn too much, is that you were excited to join R&R, but specifically you talked about, hey, like I've been flying solo and I'm about to be part of a team. And some like the team is the opportunity. And so talk to us about that. Talk to us about the opportunity of team and what's kind of got you juiced moving forward.
Well, look, I've known Carrie for a few years now. She's been on, maybe a couple podcast episodes of mine, and I wish I had known you for just as long, Ian. It's okay. We'll get to know each other better. But knowing that I had a chance to work with Carrie, that was really what got me pumped. You know what I mean? Like when you see somebody in your industry be as helpful and kind as possible while also being just so badass at what they do, that's the kind of person that I want to find myself working with. And that's what I found her to be, and that's what I found you to be honest. Being able to not only work with people, but also work with people that hold the same values as you do, but also have different experiences than you do, so that way you each can almost excel in your own way and then continue to teach each other and build each other up. That's exciting for me.
Yeah, no, you're speaking from a point of completely unbiased judgment. My wife is quite literally a badass. And and it was exciting for us to go through that. One of the things that happened with me at the end of my run at the IT company is I said, I don't know if I want to have another team. Maybe I'll just do this quiet little thing. And then over the coming weeks and then the months throughout this year, that kind of expanded, and having the space away from what had become pretty much a point of stress in my world. Running an IT company had not been a joyful experience near the end for me. Getting that space kind of almost allowed a little bit of a chance to heal, and then the opportunity to say, well, okay, like what did I learn about teams over the past 16 years? What did I learn about people over the past 16 years? What did I learn about business and clients and HR and whatever over the past 16 years, it started to get more exciting to bring in other people into R&R. And then when you and I got introduced through Carrie and the opportunity to say, hey, this is another entrepreneur that we can bring into R&R, that was exciting. Like that was really the ticket where it's a, hey, this is someone who is gonna understand when we go, hey, there's this problem, or hey, there's this opportunity. That's someone who can go, cool, CEO hat. Let's dive in.
Yeah.
Which is just exciting. So Steve, right as we're kind of winding down, tell folks a little bit about Rocket MSP, about the community, about what you've been doing and are going to continue to do with that podcast, and how they can learn more about it. And we'll close out with that.
Absolutely. So Rocket MSP, even though it is now a Richardson and Richardson Consulting company, it's going to continue to be one of the best places for managed service providers and IT professionals to come and just have a community that, if you need that sounding board, if you need those peers that you can work with, that's our biggest focus. And I've also got the Rocket MSP podcast, where I sometimes have MSPs on as guests, or I'll have MSP vendors, and we just, we talk about processes. We'll do deep dives into their products. My goal has always been to help MSPs run a better IT business. And so every time I'm making more content, I'm asking myself the question, is this going to help somebody, or am I just making content to make myself feel important? And as long as it's checking off that first box and not the second, I'm going to keep pursuing it.
Love it. Love the focus on impact. Steve, we're going to talk again the second this episode is done, because that's the game. But thanks for coming on, WIN. Appreciate you taking the time
You've been listening to
come on
WIN
and
with
share a bit of your
Richardson and
story with
Richardson.
the audience.
What's important now?
Thanks so much for
We're
having
so
me.
glad you've joined us,
I look
and
forward
know
to
you're
seeing you
one
guys
step
more.
closer to winning big in your
So
business
if
too.
you
We'd
want
love to
learn
connect
more
with you
about
outside
Rocket
of the show.
MSP, like
If you
Steve
have any
mentioned,
questions
you
or
can go to
comments, please reach out to connect
rocketmsp.io
at
to learn more, to join the
rnr.consulting.
community, and to
Don't forget to rate,
consume
review, and
those
subscribe to the
podcasts and
podcast so you'll
resources.
easily know
Steve's
when new
active on
episodes are
LinkedIn.
available.
If you want to
Until
find
next
me,
time,
go ahead and connect
you
with me on
can win,
LinkedIn. I'm
and we're
the
here to
tag of
help.
Doberman Technologies after the N. Or you can go to rndr.consulting to go to our website, consume other episodes of WIN, look at our previously recorded webcasts, download our white papers, read the blogs, etc. Or you can connect with me and book some time at rndr.consulting/connect. Until next time, take it easy.